Hi and welcome to another training session with Over IP Group. In today's video we're just going to cover some basic fundamentals in our switched PDU, which is the RPDU series. So look, we'll just get straight into it. So just to make sure that each PDU comes as a static IP address, and the default IP address is always what you see on the screen, which is 192.168.1.163. So if we just get to that there, I've already done so, and we see that the username and password just as a default is over IP. So if we just go click here, now you can either hit login or enter. I just like to hit login. So we're first presented with this screen. So we can just see quickly through the fundamentals, it's going through quickly the device name, its series, is it actually working, all the way down to now the actual output settings, which is your load, your real-time voltage, your real-time power factor, kilowatt, and also your consumption of kilowatt hour. So probably the first things that a lot of customers love to change first is they go into device settings. And here, just because the functionality of the switch PDU, you can have now master and slave, so you can save on IP addresses. So very quickly you can see that it actually can have 10 power rails of a single IP address. I'm not going to hit save, but you can, if this was a slave PDU within your server rack, you can click slave 1 and hit save. So I just won't do that. And also you'll see some other scenarios, the settings as well. There are different settings that you can apply downstream as well. There's all just, these are basic, this is default, but if you just do want to disable the power delay is just a socket scenario. So if you want to have a power delay on each socket from a boot up point of view, default's 1 second, but you can smash that out. 1 second is sufficient, so it just actually will turn one socket on at a time to reduce on any issues about startup. Buzzer is just a local alarm on the power rail itself. Group function will go into that, disable label, and obviously your bright mode for your actual LCD screen on the local power rail. So sort of moving on from there, we can go into group settings. We can actually group power rails, which an output actually is the socket. So we can actually group PDUs if you want to say turn on and off, and other functionality. So the outlet settings is where a lot of people go first, and you can rename your output. So for example, it could be just Unix server 1. So what this means here is your minimum amperage. So if you want to, just in case there's a low load, so you could type in a warning, I want to receive a warning at 2 amps, or 0 amps, just in case that could tell you that servers have turned off. A lower one, a lot of people don't do that, so you can leave it blank if you want. And this is where the upper and the max is. So the upper amp is your first warning, which could be depending on your actual SLA with your data center. It could be, let's say this is a 32 amp power rail, so a lot of people will have an N+1 environment, so you might be putting this at 10 amps, and depending on the SLA of your data center, they might tell you that an absolute maximum just due to influx might be, let's say, 13 amps. We can hit save and save success, and we can just continue that all the way down to, in this case, a 24 outlet. We can delay power on and off, very self-explanatory. Sensor settings, if you did have sensors, again there's a minimum and a maximum that you can do, just for temperature thresholds in your bag. So temperature 1 obviously might be the front of your rack, temperature 2 might be the rear of your rack. The importance of this is you don't want equipment to be too cold in the front and too hot at the rear. So again, chat with your sort of data center provider on the standards that they adhere to clarify what type of settings that you'd like to do. And obviously you see here that there's a whole swag of other settings that you can actually do. Humidity also is available, and L1 and L2 is just this PDU is broken up into 2 banks, so you can actually do, say a maximum of 16 and a maximum of 16, but that could be something different for you. So quickly moving on, you can reset your energy just in case every month you want to reset your energy just to start afresh. And of course this is where you now go into your outlet control, on, off and cycle. So yeah, that's a cycle is a restart. So look, I've just covered the first device settings area. In the next series of videos we're going to go into user management, network, data graphing, logs and system. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's any questions, please do not hesitate to call over IP group, or actually can email us as well. Thanks for watching and see you next time.